Thank you, we will do that. So this is what we're gonna do. If you have any more questions, meet up with Ed, we'll come over here and we'll have your questions done.
Or email, if also.
If the candidates are still available to stay a little bit, can we ask them personally questions? Is that?
Well, we would like it to
I-
be recorded so that everybody has an opportunity
Okay.
to see the answers to the
Thank you.
questions.
After everything is over, can you just have the mics still live and ask questions and have the camera rolling?
If they're willing to.
If they're willing, that's what I'm asking. Are the candidates willing to?
I really would like to, but I do have class.
Okay, all right.
And I anxious questions too.
Okay, no, that's what I was asking.
Problem.
But I mean, if you would really like to speak to us personally, you can come and see us in the office.
Okay.
And I'm more than willing to speak.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'll just try to be quick about this because of time, but the question now I'm putting on you, what are you going to do? All right, you're a student. The question is, what are your rights? What can you do? What power do you have? The answer is varied. As one student, you actually have the ability to do a lot. The question is, how do you do it? So, in terms of holding student government accountable, all right, if you have a question about any budget, that's student government budget, club budget, etc., that's all public information. If you want to know what student government is spending its money on, you can just go down to the third floor, ask Central Depository for a budget, and there you have it. All right, that is public information. You may not get it that day, but you should be able to get it within a week. Okay, so one way is to see a trail. There are 4 things that I would say that I learned this year, and I'm going to pass it on to you to abide by if you so choose. Number 1 is to plan ahead. If you don't plan ahead, then you're going to be rushing things, and when you rush people, they don't like you as much. All right? 2, keep a paper trail. How often is it that you go to some sort of office and they say, well, where's the paperwork? And you say, well, I thought I gave it to you. Well, guess what? You're screwed. Keep the paper trail. Keep copies. Whenever you submit something, and it doesn't matter if it's student government, student affairs, the enrollment service center, the DMV, if you don't have that paper trail, that's it. 3, follow up. Just because you submitted it doesn't mean that they're going to get to it. So, unless you make them understand that it's important, they may not get to it in the timely fashion that you require. So, follow up. If you send, for example, me an email, and I'm your student government president, and you don't hear from me within, I would say, 2 or 3 days, that's a problem, and I'll admit it. But then again, if you don't follow up, when am I going to check that email unless you say, hey, I'm just following up on that question I asked you the other day? You know what I'm saying here? Right? And how often is it that you send something to somebody, and then you forget about it, and they forget about it? And then maybe by the time that the deadline passes, it's too late, you can't do anything? That's the point. All right, so as much as you want to blame it on me because you sent me that email, it's your responsibility to make sure that I follow up. And fourth is really a culmination of the first 3, which is leave no room for excuses. All right, because at the end of the day, do you really want to be left with excuses? Well, I would have done it, but I didn't know about it. What kind of excuse is that? Well, I would have paid my rent, but I didn't know that I had it mailed to there, and now I'm evicted. I mean, you know, that's not exactly student government work, but where it could hurt you is, well, I didn't know that I had to plan ahead for this event. I didn't know that I had to submit my budget proposal on April 15th. Clubs, if you're in here, it's April 15th. You better get your club proposals in. All right, we're doing our best to reach out to you. So there are a lot of things that we have to hold ourselves accountable for. So as much as you want to ask us questions, I'm letting you know that it's as much a responsibility of yours as it is us. All right, because at the end of the day, it's your life, and you decide how you live it. Okay, so if you want things done and you think it's important enough, then put in the time and effort. Okay, we are, and we hope you will too. All right, any questions about accountability? All right, I'm leaving no room for excuses here. Okay. All right, thank you for listening. And if you got questions,